The 2025 African Cup of Nations climaxed over the weekend in Morocco, and the final between the Teranga Lions of Senegal and the Atlas Lions of Morocco had everything. The drama, the controversy, crowd disturbance, and a bit of poor officiating as well. And we're talking about the African Cup of Nations right now. The Teranga Lions of Senegal, they are the champions of Africa. Welcome to another edition of Sports Hangout, where we give you the best and, of course, the latest updates from the world of sports. We are still talking about the African Cup of Nations. That's the rave of the moment. And we'll talk about the African Cup of Nations this day. JJ, the African Cup of Nations. Let me start by asking you, as a Nigerian, how did you feel after Senegal defeated Morocco? I know most Nigerians, supported Senegal to beat Morocco for obvious reasons.
I feel so great. I feel absolutely great. Yeah. You could ride a horse in me and not stumble. I feel so great, you know. Because
we have not forgiven the referee. What happened on Wednesday?
Well, that was sheer injustice. And I think there was football karma that played out yesterday on Morocco. I'm so delighted that Senegal are the champions.
Let's start with the officiating in this competition. It's been a lot. From the group stage to the round of 16, quarter-final, the semi-finals, and of course the final. The semi-final game between Nigeria and Morocco had a lot of controversy. And even yesterday, what happened, JJ? Senegal, they staged a walkout because of what happened. Let's talk about the officiating. The quality of officiating in this competition, how you rate it?
If you consider the quality of officiating at Afcon, and I said it the other day, that over the years, we've seen that's why you rarely find African referees in the World Cup. And it means that we have a lot to improve on. We really have a lot to improve on. It's like every home team must win.
Yeah.
It's just a terrible situation for the African football. It's the quarterfinals, clear penalty.
Yeah, Cameroon against Morocco.
Refused to intervene.
The semi-final.
Semi-final against Nigeria. Very poor officiating. Just a lot of bad decisions, bad calls by the referee. And then the final against Senegal. How could you blow a whistle in a goal-scoring situation? And the Senegal, they had every right to be incensed, honestly, because the officiating was just terrible. And I don't know what to describe it, how to describe it other than calling it abysmal. It was abysmal.
Let's talk about the Teranga Lions for a bit before we go back to Morocco. People have said what happened yesterday, they trying to stage a walkout is not a good image for African football. Of course, the coach of the Teranga Lions has apologized for what happened, but do you think that it was justified to have done that in the first place?
Yeah, sometimes in football,
emotions
can cloud your judgment.
But not good image for African football.
But then you can't take away emotion from football. In fact, emotion is the reason football is worldwide known sport. And people calling it a bad image for African football. Yes, it might be.
It is anyway.
People saying that it's outrageous for him to have called his team and to take the walkout. I'm pretty sure they are hypocrites. I'll just call them hypocrites. If they were in the same shoes, they would have nearly done the same, if not done even worse. At least they came back, they played, and thankfully they won the competition. But to say they did something bad, yes,
they did something bad.
Football, but it's based on emotion, anyone would have done that.
Let's talk about Morocco, JJ. The last time they won the African Cup of Nations was in 1976, and they came close to doing that over the weekend, got a penalty, and what was Brahim Diaz thinking? In the final of the African Cup, that's the biggest stage in Africa. You got a penalty, you were looking for aesthetics, you were supposed to score, and he went for Paneka, and then Edouard Mendy, who is a specialist in saving Paneka, saved that for the Teranga Lions of Senegal. Let's talk about Brahim Diaz for a while. Do you think that he made the wrong decision yesterday?
Taking the penalty?
Yeah, Paneka, you just score. Why? It's a risky form of taking penalty.
Ideally, he wasn't the one that was supposed to play the penalty. He took the ball off El Nasir. So I'm asking,
that guy will have scored.
Is it the decision to take it off him or the decision to play the Panenka penalty?
Let's even agree that, of course, he took it off him. I'm saying that he should have try another style of picking that penalty instead of trying that panenka. Panenka is a risky form of taking penalty. If the goalkeeper is smart enough, it's very easy to catch. That's what I'm trying to say.
As easy to catch as panenka is, as easy to send the goalkeeper away.
Of course.
As it is too. So,
but it's risky. You know it's risky.
It's risky, and with the rush.
Adrepilo, Giorgio, these are players that they are specialists in doing that, but they don't do that every time, because if you do that every time, goalkeepers have a way of reading your mind, and if they read your mind, you are caught. It's very easy to save.
I think there was a bit of a mind game between Mendy and Brahim Diaz yesterday.
Okay.
He tried to disorientate him before taking the penalty. But then, I wouldn't say the Panenka he took was a bad decision, honestly, because it could have gone. It could have gone either way.
But it has backfired.
It could have chosen force, power over aesthetics, and missed the penalty.
He scored 5 goals in this competition.
Yes.
But I'm very sure the Moroccans will remember that penalty
miss.
Yes.
Over the 5 goals.
Definitely.
Yes, because it could have been the
But that's the greatest moment anyway.
The villain.
Yes.
He chose to.
I said the other time, the last time they won the Afcon was in 1976. 50 years, that's a long time ago.
And the fact that they hosted it and they got to the finals.
Very painful.
And it was a penalty. It was the last kick of the game.
Yes, just score and of course win the tournament.
He missed and they lost the final to that. I wouldn't really blame Brahim Diaz on the decision to take it with Panenka, because, like I said, he could have gone for force, power over aesthetic and still missed it. He had a chance to become the hero or the villain.
Yeah.
He became the villain, but it wasn't bad. I'm pretty sure no sane human being would choose to be a villain by some making now.
JJ, many African countries supported Senegal yesterday, including Nigerians. I mean, before the game, the build-up to that game was intense. I heard a lot of people say, oh, I want Senegal to beat Morocco because of what happened to the Super Eagles of Nigeria. Is it a gang-up against Morocco? I mean, Morocco, did they do anything extraordinary? Yes, they've had a bit of favors from the referee, but they also deserve to be in the final. So why the gang-up against Morocco?
You know, let's use the school setting, for instance.
Okay.
You have a chap in school that people think he's brilliant, but then the moment you start suspecting, ideally a brilliant student in school, other students will think, okay, teachers are helping, teachers.
Yes, of course.
Now imagine if that child is the son or the daughter of
the principal,
or eventually people investigate and they realize that there's some help coming from the teachers. What do you think other students will do?
Be jealous,
there will be a gang up. There will be. So that was what happened with Morocco. It was clear, in fact, clear as daylight, but they were getting help from the officials, and it doesn't seem like CAF was helping either. It was like it was a whole conspiracy between CAF, the referee, and the Moroccan Football Association, and that was why when the ball went to they got a penalty in the 90th minute, the whole African continent was at a standstill.
Yes.
I'm pretty sure. Everyone was hoping.
In
fact, when they walked off the pitch yesterday, many people supported Senegal's decision. Yeah. And so when they came back and Diaz missed the penalty,
they were so happy.
You could...
Yeah, the excitement, they were so happy.
It was heard almost throughout the world, the vibration of it.
I also saw a video where fans of Senegal, they were very angry. I mean, that video has actually gone viral, and people have said, well, it's not good image for African football. This is our own World Cup, and if you're having elements like this, it has a way of painting Africa in the bad light in the international community. Do you agree with that? That what happened yesterday, Senegalese fans, I mean, I saw the video, they were very angry, they wanted to scatter everything in Morocco. Do you think that was necessary?
Is it the fight?
No, the fans, not the player. The fans, Senegal.
Yes, the fans fighting with the stewards.
Yes.
Well, if people choose to,
but you and I know that CAF will punish Senegal. Definitely.
If people choose to, based on that, describe African football as bad or think it in the image, I think they're just hypocrites. It's not the first time fans are fighting in the football field. It happens in Europe more often than not. It happens in 2000.
Not because it's Africa.
In 2011, again between Ajax Amsterdam and AZ Alkmaar, it was a final too, the final of the KNVB Cup in Holland, and the referee gave AZ Akmat's goalkeeper a red card, and the manager, he called off the entire players of the team. And why? Because the keeper was trying to protect himself. A fan came on the pitch and tried to attack him, and he latched back as well. It was like self-defense. For the referee to have sent him off, they felt it was injustice. You wouldn't do that. You won't walk off the field if you don't feel a huge sense of injustice. It could have happened with Nigeria, but we carried on. Would we say we are better than Senegal? I wouldn't say that. No, I wouldn't. It was a final.
I mean, people have said, well,
this
maybe our fans,
this was a final.
Maybe our fans were.
Senegal must have observed the round of 16.
Yes.
They must have seen the
quarterfinal,
quarterfinals against Cameroon.
Semi-final.
They must have what happened against Nigeria in the semi-final. All these things have added to the emotional outburst.
I mean, some people have also said that Nigerian fans should have done this.
It was like we are watching
against
you
Morocco.
Try to do
Wednesday.
that against us, and you.
But JJ, you know that CAF will punish Senegal definitely.
There are some punishments you gladly.
But they will be happy because they have won the African Cup of Nations.
I think what else do they want?
JJ, they won it last in 2021, and now they have won it again in 2025. Is Senegal becoming a powerhouse in African football?
Yeah, I think Senegal.
I remember early 2000s was Cameroon. Cameroon won the Afcon in 2000. They won the Afcon in 2002 in Mali as well. In 2004, of course, they lost in the quarterfinals to Nigeria. Cameroon dominated African football in the early 2000s, but right now Senegal, just like Egypt did in mid 2000, remember they won the Afcon back-to-back 3 times. I think 2006, 2008, and 2010 as well. But Senegal right now, they are the big boys in African football.
Yeah, it has to be.
And they are going to the World Cup.
When you make investment definitely pays off. I think they've invested heavily in their youth system. And so over the past decade, they've been consistent.
So they are worthy champions.
So they are worthy champions. And I can tell you that Morocco, they were unfortunate. They were rather unlucky yesterday. They could have won it because both of them, Morocco and Senegal, they've been really consistent at. In fact, the last time Morocco lost a competitive game at home was 2009.
Long time ago.
Rigobert's son. He was still playing for Cameroon and they beat them. That was 2-0. And so you understand that when you make investment in football, it pays off, especially in the youth system. And so Senegal, if you look at the quality of players they have, 21. In fact, one of them was just a very young chap, 18 or something, and he played and was composed. And these are things that over the years they play consistently, they gel, they form a team, and they can be not only formidable in Africa, they can also go and do exploits in Europe, like Morocco did.
I'm particularly happy for
the last World Cup
for Sadio Mane because, of course, he has already confirmed this Afcon will be his last for Senegal, and then he's winning it again for the second time in how many years now. He's going to retire on a high, definitely. Sadio Mane, former Liverpool player.
Yes, of course. Yes, it really
it's been fantastic for
deserves it.
Yeah.
It's not a lot for football. And football is paying him back now. So
Senegal used to have Diop, they had Henry Camara. They didn't win the African Cup of Nations with this galaxy of stars. But right now, Sadio Mane has 2 Afcon. That is a big deal. that's actually a big deal.
When you're talking about Henry Camara, you're talking about Diop, you're talking about...
Yeah, they got to the World Cup in 2002, but they didn't win any Afcon.
A time when Nigeria had Kocha, Kanu Wako, Agali, Agawa, Utaka. So there were... In the early 2000s was filled with a lot of stars, superstars in each different team. So, but for Sadio Mane, I say the way he even called back the team, coordinated himself, composed, and
I like it.
He showed strong leadership yesterday. And then on that alone, you could say he was a world champion for what he did.
Senegal will be in the World Cup, definitely. Do you think that they can go as far as getting to the semi-finals? Morocco got to the semi-finals last time out in Qatar. Do you think Senegal, being the African champions, or can they win the World Cup?
I mean, that would be... it's a bit too much of a ask for an African nation to win the World Cup now. But like I said, if they are consistent with their development, with their investment, over the years, I'm pretty sure... Look at most of these players. They're not playing for African teams now. They're playing for even big teams in Europe. So that's showing that there's something coming up from the Senegalese, the Moroccan teams. And if they continue, if they're consistent at that, I'm pretty sure that one of these days, very soon, we're going to have an African nation win the World Cup.
All right, let's get your thoughts on our comment section, Sports Hangouts. Do you think that the Teranga Lions of Senegal are actually the worthy champions of Africa? It was a battle between lions, of course, the Teranga Lions
And the
Atlas
Atlas
Lions. But you know, Teranga Lions were so
the lions
Lions,
in Teranga, they were well fed.
I mean, Senegal winning that
The
game.
Atlas okay.
Senegal beating Morocco by a long goal, and of course winning the African Cup of Nations. So let's get your comment, Sport Hangout on YouTube, and of course on our social. So say again, subscribe, right?
Yes, subscribe, and please don't forget the notification bell.
I remain Toby.
I'm JJ.